Nigeria's leader and President Bola Tinubu has been engaging in meetings and conversations about the development of Nigeria. The president has met with the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer at Downing Street in London. And there you can see the president walking down to number 10, marking a significant moment in renewed bilateral relations between both countries. The meeting, which is part of President Tinubu's ongoing state visit to the United Kingdom, focused on trade, infrastructure development, and broader economic cooperation. A major outcome of the talks is a $746 million export finance agreement to support the redevelopment of Nigeria's key port in Lagos. President Tinubu was received at number 10 Downing Street, where both leaders held closed-door discussions before addressing the press. At the center of the engagement is a multi-million pounds financing deal backed by UK Export Finance to support the rehabilitation of the Apapa and Tinkan Island port, two of Nigeria's most critical maritime gateways. The financing arrangement will be coordinated by the Citibank, with British Steel expected to supply over 120,000 tons of steel under a separate £70 million contract. Prime Minister Starmer described the visit as historic, noting that it is the first of its kind by a West African leader in nearly 4 decades. Beyond infrastructure, discussions also covered security, cooperation, climate change, and investment opportunities. I'd like you to listen to the President, Bola Tinubu, and the Prime Minister of the UK, Mr. Keir Starmer.
We need to nurture the trade agreements, stimulate more economic relationship that will build out two nations. And Nigeria is currently going through a very strong reform of the economy. And other than the volatility that we are, where we will discuss that further in our bilateral discussions, what we are facing is not a small challenge. Currently, the entire world is challenged. And Nigeria is not immune, so is Britain is not immune. I've seen your reaction on television, watching things as they develop. My concern is, as you rightly said, the economic and the welfare of the people, and how you should work together to improve the livelihood. I mean, so, mitigating the economic volatility that is coming. And currently we are challenged in being the largest city in West Africa, country in the West African region, and on the continent. We are challenged by terrorism and the coming from the Zaire and the conflict of climate change and all of that. We will be able to discuss it in a bilateral relationship and see what Britain can do to accelerate the friendship, partnership, and the collaboration.
Thank you so much. Great. Let me say a few words by way of welcome to Downing Street, and thank you for coming here today on what is a historic state visit, the first inward state visit for 37 years, and it was very good, which His Majesty the King hosted us all last night for a most enjoyable dinner with you and your delegation, and it is really good to have you here today. The long and shared history between our countries is obvious and much valued by us, as is the people-to-people contact and engagement that we have, and that enriches our lives here in the United Kingdom, as is actually the King mentioned in his speech last night. We have a lot of work that we already do on the economy, on defence and security, but today is the opportunity to take that to another level. With the agreements that we've been able to reach on exports and to go even further than we've already gone with our relationships. And so I really look forward to this privilege and wider world affairs as well. Thank you again for being here. You're most welcome.
Thank you very much.